What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today it's finally time for me to cover the Skullsplitter mod for the 9mm PM in Black Ops 6. Just a quick note though, before we get into the video, I realize there's very little interest in Black Ops 6 at the moment. I personally have essentially no interest in this game anymore. However, I'm still going to do my job. I am committed to providing the stats for any gameplay items that get added, so you will still be seeing this content from me. Just keep in mind, it's likely just going to be bot gameplay from here on out, because I don't really want to play this game. So diving right into the Skullsplitter, this is a weapon mod for the 9mm PM, and it's unlocked on page 7 of the Battle Pass for Season 5. And it's worth noting this is a barrel attachment, and if you use it, you also gain access to an extended mag attachment that is tied to this particular barrel. You don't have to use that extended mag, but the option is there. And with this, we get a massive boost to damage, not only headshot damage, but also base damage to the body. And let's take a deeper look at that. Up close, we're dealing 60 damage to the body, and that's anywhere in the body, by the way. Even in the foot, you're dealing 60 damage, so it'll be a 2-shot kill to the body up close and a 3-shot kill at a distance. And with our headshot damage multiplier, this is now 1.8. That's a massive multiplier for this game, meaning it's going to be a 1-shot headshot in the maximum damage range, which is really the selling point of this weapon mod. Now, in order to balance that out, we do see a very notable reduction to our rate of fire. Instead of 375 rounds per minute, it's now 185 rounds per minute, so that cuts it pretty drastically. And what this means is, even though we can get a 2-shot kill to the body up close, we're still killing slightly slower than the 3-shot kill with the base 9mm PM, at 324 milliseconds. And that's not a great time to kill. Sure, you can still hold your own and win some gunfights with that time to kill, but it's not a standout by any means. And it's extremely slow with a 3-shot kill at 648 milliseconds, and that also means this is very unforgiving for any missed shots. Now, it is worth noting we can still use rapid fire in combination with this barrel, which will improve our time to kill potential a little bit, but it's still not a standout by any means. Next, let's have a look at our range comparison, because this is something that also changes with this weapon mod. As you can see here, our new maximum damage range is 40.5 meters. That's a very impressive damage range, considering it's a 2-shot kill to the body anywhere within that range, or a 1-shot kill to the head. And with the maps in this game, it's really easy to keep yourself within 40 meters. In fact, you often have to be working pretty hard to try to find a line of sight beyond 40 meters that's going to be effective at least. So that's a very impressive part of this weapon mod, and on top of that, we see a significant boost to our bullet velocity. It's now 790 meters per second, and this means our hit scan range is right up there with our maximum damage range. It's just under 40 meters. So that's quite impressive. Next, let's get into our recoil. And while this technically increases the amount of recoil we experience for every shot that we fire, there's also more time between shots, so it's got more time to recenter after every shot that you fire. And it turns out it actually overcorrects on that recenter. So you'll notice if you're not touching your aim at all and you're just spamming this as fast as you can, your recoil pattern's actually going to trend slightly downward from your initial point of origin. So that is something to consider, and if you are trying to spam longer range shots, you may have to account for that a little bit. Also, it is worth noting, even though we do get recentered between each shot, that high amount of recoil per shot can be quite obstructive. Your barrel comes up and in the way of your target, and it might be a bit difficult to line up your shot between shots fired as your recoil is recentering. But overall, you can see there's a very nice tight grouping there at least. And that's pretty much it as far as the base stats of the Skullsplitter. Everything else is the same as the base 9mm PM. Although, like I mentioned at the beginning, there is a magazine attachment that you can use specifically with this barrel, and all other magazine attachments are blocked off when using this. But this extended mag will extend your capacity from 8 rounds up to 12 rounds. However, it does slightly harm your aim down sight and sprint to fire speed. And with that, let's get into a couple excellent setups that you can use with the Skullsplitter. And the first one is just a nice balanced all-arounder. With this, we're using the Merlin Mini Optic. There are several other optics to choose from, including this one that has a higher zoom level. It's more like a scope. However, this one does harm our handling stats by a noticeable margin. So at the end of the day, just go with the one that you're comfortable with. But I would recommend using an optic so you can really line up those headshots. And I like the Merlin Mini. I've got the compensator on to help combat that recoil a little bit, so it's less visually obstructive. Plus, we are going to be using rapid fire on this, which gives us less time to recenter between shots, so we actually do see some more recoil with this compared to the base Skullsplitter without rapid fire. And then for the other attachments, we just have the Skullsplitter mod itself, as well as that extended mag attachment for it. So that's the first one, pretty basic. I mean, 2 out of our 5 attachments are already essentially spoken for with the mod and the magazine itself, but this one's excellent for just picking off those headshots. As for the next setup I've got for you guys, this one is actually quite great. This is my Akimbo Skullsplitter setup, and with this, we're once again using the mod itself as well as the extended mag attachment that comes with it. Then we're using Akimbo, the fast motion laser. You could also use the steady aim laser. It really just depends on your preference. I like the fast motion laser because I tend to like sliding into gunfights, especially when being aggressive. And this is going to be helping a lot when integrating movement like sliding. And then finally, we are topping this off with rapid fire once again. And with this, we do see a reduction to our maximum damage range with the Akimbo mod. However, it's still 32.5 meters. And if you're using Akimbo, you shouldn't be getting into any fights even close to that range. So range still isn't an issue. And the nice thing about this is since we're dealing 60 damage to the body and we can fire both guns at the same time, this means we have a 0 millisecond time to kill potential if we're pulling the trigger on both guns at the same time and if both of those shots land. Obviously, there will be some element of luck mixed in there, depending on the range. Obviously, for point blank, you're going to be hitting both of those shots almost every single time. So using this is actually kind of like a shotgun. You want to keep yourself as close as possible, especially on the small face-off maps. This will be quite powerful, and you should be able to rack up a ton of kills while using this, as long as you can manage your ranges properly. And there we go. That is going to wrap it up for today's breakdown of the Skullsplitter mod for the 9mm PM. Overall, it is a good addition to the game. I wish we would have had access to this much earlier in the game. It seems like it would offer a nice, fun change of pace. And this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about the Skullsplitter mod in Black Ops 6 so far? Do you guys like the addition of this, or maybe not so much? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.